Have you noticed the slow disconnection from who you used to be? Like the way certain environments suddenly became unbearable, or the way your body started rejecting maybe noise or chaos or drama or artificial living. And most probably you've gone through phases where everything in your life reorganized at once, like friendships faded, old goals lost meaning, your nervous system became more sensitive, you started needing more silence, so you went into solitude, you needed more truth, so you started studying and looking into new information. You've noticed you need more alignment, so you also cut off some information, and you've really started asking what's real to you, what you want to do. And at times you wondered if something was wrong with you, that you think this way, that you feel this way. And maybe you've been asking, like, why can't I tolerate what everyone else tolerates? Why does everything feel so intense? Why do I feel like I'm living between two realities? And maybe you've even noticed that so many people in your life feel the same and they can't put into words what is happening. So what I want to give you today is a bit of clarity around these energies, because these energies are real right now and we feel it, our bodies feel it, our nervous system sense these subtle influences that are present. So what if there's actually nothing wrong with you? What if you're not falling apart, my friend? That would be beautiful, right? What if you're recalibrating to something new, to something that you are meant to be, to something you've been built to be? Because for many people on a deep inner path, this is so-called shift into fifth dimension. And it didn't start this year, it didn't start a previous year, like we've been talking about this for the last 6 years. And it's happening for a long time, like if you've been into the work of Dolores Cannon, she talked about this in the 90s and even before. And if you've been into the work of Rudolf Steiner and other teachers, they've been predicting this time for a long time. And if you've been into the teachings of ancient traditions like Native Americans and Hopi people and maybe ancient Egypt, and all these ancient teachings were preparing us for the great shift. The earth will go through a great shift where the old will fall and the new will be born, and we are right now in this shift. You've already done a lot of detaching. You've already experienced maybe what sometimes we call the collapse of old belief systems, and also beliefs around ourselves, like what we believe to be true, who we believe that we are. And we've noticed, well, maybe I truly am this spiritual being on a human journey. And therefore your old identity started collapsing. You've already walked through the loneliness that comes when your perception changes faster than the world around you. And now something is accelerating. The external world is beginning to reflect that inner shift you've been going through quietly for years. And just to mention, I've noticed for me, doing art helps me so much to stay aligned and to not be so influenced by it, because I've noticed that creative expression just puts us into alignment with these universal forces where actually these changes and shifts inspire us and speed up our evolution. That's why I'm also sharing my painting today with you. I'm an artist, I'm a messenger, but yes, I've been doing a lot of art during these years. So you can find my paintings on AttractPassion.com to see what I'm doing. I'm seeing visions in my mind's eye, so I'm painting them. And that's how I also navigate myself through this kind of changes. So If you would say you're more sensitive, you may sense that there's a change that is happening. And yes, there's a lot of change outside of us. There's a lot of change in the system. And the external world is beginning to reflect that internal shift that we've been all going through quietly for years. So many of us have been through healing, through emotional healing, through revealing the truth to ourselves, to sitting with ourselves in quietness until maybe the old grief, the old sadness, the old attachments came to the surface and we have released it. And now on the global level, the truth is also coming out and the world needs to face with it. Many of you have faced with so much of your own baggage that seeing now what's happening in the world is like, yeah, I was waiting for it, right? While many people are shocked, you're like, I knew this is coming because I've been through it as well already. So what is happening isn't the beginning of the transition for you. It's the intensification. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare yourself for the next phase of this shift in a grounded, real, psychological, stable way. So you will not try to escape, you will not fantasize it, you will be prepared. So firstly, what the fifth dimension actually is. Well, the fifth dimension is not a place you suddenly teleport to. That would be great, right? Actually, there's a skill to do it, but maybe we're not that evolved yet. We're becoming, my friend, so be ready for that, for being able to teleport yourself. So, fifth dimension is not a physical relocation. It's not about leaving Earth, as most probably you already know that. It's a change in perception and consciousness. You could think of it as a shift from survival-based awareness to coherence-based awareness. In coherence, we feel one with life. We feel connected with all creation. And we just feel that we are guided and supported by it. While in survival, we feel separate from it, so we feel always in some kind of a danger, like something will attack us. In coherence, we feel we are one with it, we are collaborating, we're always guided. And I'm not afraid of what is happening because at the right time, the right guidance comes. Or the right idea, or the right solution, or the right person, or the breakthrough, everything happens because we are relaxed in the process of life. So, from operating primarily in fear, control, and separation, we go to operating from clarity, responsibility, and interconnectedness. In other words, we go from this lower survival energy centers in our bodies where a lot of energy was often around the stomach area when we've been angry and afraid and scared, into our heart where we feel connected and grateful and grounded and open. And that's a great change. In very simple terms, we could say third dimensional consciousness is dominated by survival, comparison, and external validation, while fifth dimensional consciousness is dominated by awareness, emotional regulation, which means you're not victim of your environment, you're creator of your environment. And alignment with the truth, not just your personal truth, but ultimate truth. That's why this process requires a lot of purification, mental purification from false ideas, false beliefs. And that requires a lot of this sitting with ourselves to come across who we really are, not identity, but the awareness, the observer of identity. So then we can alter, our identities, erase thoughts that are not ours. It's not about being perfect or constantly peaceful. It's about how you process reality. And if you've been on this path for a long time, you've already noticed you can't lie to yourself the way you used to. And you can't stay in environments that feel misaligned, and you can't pretend you don't feel what you feel. Your system rejects distortion much faster now, and that's part of the shift that is happening right now. So why things feel so intense to so many of you? If you've been in this transition for years, you may notice that recently everything feels amplified. Emotions are stronger, fatigue comes in waves. You may feel pulled between wanting deep solutions and wanting real connection. Your tolerance for superficiality is almost zero. And just know that these kind of things are not random. When we shift internally, when our consciousness shifts, there's also the change in the body, where actually the body starts recalibrating to hold more awareness. So we notice the change in ourselves, and that can feel destabilizing. It's almost like when you move to a new place. You don't feel just like at home at the beginning, even though the place may be beautiful, home may be beautiful, environment may be beautiful. You feel for some time a stranger to that place. And same is here, like your consciousness shifts, but your body feels like a stranger to that consciousness for some time. So you may experience sudden clarity about relationships, like you would just see people as they truly are, and you're confused like how you couldn't see that before. There's a deep need to simplify your life. There are periods of grief for your old life and old identity and old people. There's a desire to live more truthfully, and there's a strong sensitivity to environments. So it can feel like you're outgrowing multiple versions of yourself at once. And if you feel it, it's because you are actually outgrowing many versions of yourself. So it's also something worthy of celebration, because it took you some time, right? So the old structures in your mind and body can't hold the level of awareness that you are stepping into right now. They are dissolving. But what's really important in this process is that the solution, without learning to stay stable and grounded, may lead to a lot of chaos in the mind, especially in this time when there's a lot of information and we have access to immediate answers through AI. Sometimes we actually need to just let everything go, ground ourselves, do some activity, do some yoga, do some sports, ground in your body, be in nature, and let things happen, let things go, let confusion leave you, let chaos settle. You see, the real transformation doesn't happen by having answers and having information, but actually letting this information integrate through practice, through action, through trust. So sometimes, if you've been doing the work, if you've been practicing, maybe all you need, the only ingredient you need is to trust, to let time do its thing as well. I've noticed so many people have been through some hard things in recent months and years, and they say, I've been doing all the work and I've been positive and I've been meditating and all of that, and all they need is maybe trust and keep focusing on what they want to create instead of what they don't want. But trust is a very important ingredient, because when we open our hearts, we can't work in fear anymore. It's not the same energy. So this is why preparation matters now more than ever before. So I want to give you here a bit of a misconception about ascension that is happening. One of the biggest misunderstandings is that this shift is about escaping reality. But it's not. You don't prepare for higher consciousness by disconnecting from life. Like even all these great ancient masters that experienced glimpses of enlightenment or the entire enlightenment still decided to teach others, to help others, or to write books and all of that. They didn't escape this place. They ascended from it when their mission was finished. And we need to know that all of our souls are here on purpose, on mission at this time, to hold space, to shine our lights, and to do what we feel called to do. So it's not about escaping, it's becoming more of ourselves in this life. You don't prepare for higher consciousness by disconnecting from life. You prepare by becoming more present inside of it, more emotionally mature, more responsible for your energy, more honest about what you feel and how you live. So the shift into fifth dimensional consciousness is less about going somewhere else or floating above reality and being in this deep altered states, and more about becoming deeply coherent with everything that is, which in other words we could say becoming at peace with it, because peace is one of the highest frequencies, we could say. If we're truly in love, we're also at peace, right? We can say, oh, I'm so in love with life, and then you start reacting what that person said. When you're at peace, nothing triggers you anymore, because you know everyone is choosing their lessons, everyone is going through something, and you don't need to react to everything. You can accept and just move on. So what happens is that you become less reactive, less easily manipulated, less dependent on external validation. And it doesn't happen just because you stop caring about everything, but because you become internally stable. You became stable within you. This is the point. And that's what many people are being trained for right now, whether they realize it or not. So if you've been in this shift for a long time, you may recognize the signs that I will mention to you right now. Maybe you've gone through long periods of isolation or solitude. Maybe you've been, or you had, collapses of old beliefs and identity, where you no longer knew who you were. You've been actually questioning, am I really this person, or have I've been just playing a character? Maybe you've lost interest in competing with others, or you felt a strong pull toward truth and authenticity. How many of you have become more sensitive to energy and environments? And how many of you have learned because of that to regulate your emotions? So if you've been feeling this, you've been feeling this energy, you've been feeling this shift, and I know some of you may still feel like, yeah, but what if it's not real? Well, who knows? So it's good if you go into your heart and see what's there. You are being prepared to function with more awareness, my friend. And that preparation often feels like loss before it feels like clarity. Because you don't just gain new perception, you also shed old layers. Like you need to let go of something old to gain something new. And that may be for you old beliefs, old coping mechanisms, old reactions, old way of relating to yourself and others. And this is why so many people feel like they've lived multiple lives in the past few years. How many of you feel that? Like, I feel I lived so many lives in my life. So if you feel like that, well, my friend, welcome to the club. It's happening both psychologically and emotionally. So what we need to know is to keep stabilizing ourselves, keep stabilizing our nervous system, because higher awareness requires a regulated body. If your system is constantly overwhelmed, you can't integrate what you're perceiving. So focus on consistent sleep, slower mornings, time in silence, less digital overload, breathing and grounding practices. Because stability is the foundation of expanded awareness. That's what we've been talking for a long time. And do some yoga, like start a day with some slow yoga and then go into the gym or into the nature. Then also what will help you so much is to simplify your life. The more complex and chaotic your life is, the harder it is to stay aligned. You may feel a strong urge to reduce unnecessary commitments, to clear out environments, to set stronger boundaries, to go to less places and less meetings and spend more time with yourself and be more intentional with your time, because it's a very important part of you, right? All you have is energy, and how you invest energy is also how you experience time. And because you don't have all the time that's available, invest it wisely, right? People are valuing time right now more than ever before. So be sure you're simplifying your life. You're creating a life structure that can hold more clarity and more of this wonderful energy that will support you. Another thing you can do to guide yourself through this shift is to tell yourself the truth. You see, when we shift our consciousness, it's important to be honest with ourselves. Not some kind of brutal honesty toward others that lead to anger and hate, but honest awareness within ourselves. Like, what do you actually feel? What do you actually want? What drains you? What brings peace? These are the answers that we need. Because the more honest we are internally, the less fragmented we will feel. And that's as simple as it gets. So we don't need a lot. We just need to know answers to these questions. And the fourth thing you need to know is release the need to be understood by everyone. This is a great wisdom here. One of the hardest parts of this shift is realizing that not everyone around you will understand what you're experiencing, and that's okay. You're not here to force people into your perception. You're here to just live your perception, to live it, to experiment with it. The need for constant external validation fades as internal clarity strengthens, right? The fifth thing you can do is build inner stability instead of chasing high states. So there's nothing wrong by, going into these higher states and altered states and having mystical experiences. I think it can help us so much to broaden our understanding about what this life is truly all about. But we also need to do something with that then, and therefore we need to stabilize ourselves. And often people in this time don't need so much of these spiritual heights as they need to be grounded and stable. So it's very helpful if you're working out on your body right now, like detoxifying your body, strengthening your body. Working on balance is also a great practice because it helps us to use more parts of our brain and more muscles in our bodies to let these energies ground. And also calm is more important than intensity, and clarity is more important than excitement, and consistency is more important than peak experiences. Because the more stable you become, the more natural this transition feels, and you just don't know where it can take you. So there's also the emotional side of this shift. And therefore, we need to understand that it will not always be peaceful. You've noticed that. It can feel lonely, it can feel disorienting, it can feel like you don't fully belong anywhere for a while, and you're outgrowing one level of reality while not fully anchored in the next. And that in between space can feel strange, but it's temporary. You're learning how to exit with more awareness without losing your grounding, and that takes time. So, what is coming after it? Well, firstly, as this shift continues, you may notice faster emotional processing. You may notice stronger intuition, clearer boundaries, less tolerance for distortion, a deeper desire for meaningful connection, a more intentional way of living. Not because you would be forcing it, but because your system can't operate the old way anymore, and you're just naturally unfolding in a new way that feels more clear, more natural. So you're not becoming someone else, you're becoming more of who you really are. And that's the unfolding. So if you've been in this shift for years, this isn't the beginning for you, it's the deepening, and you feel it. You're not here to escape reality, you're here to embody clarity within it. So prepare yourself, my friend, not with fear, not with urgency, but with stability. Feel it like a strong tree in your body. Remember that storms make trees grow deeper roots, and that's what is happening right now. So take care of yourself, simplify your life, tell yourself the truth, and let go of who you used to be. Let go of who you used to be. Stop identifying yourself with these old stories. Yeah, it's hard. I can't stop this. No, these are old stories. Of course you can, because you're magical, you're powerful, you're wise. So you can do it. And you see, the more grounded you become, the more natural this transition will feel. The shift is not happening to you. It's happening through you, and you're more prepared than you think. So I hope you found a great value today. I will leave you here. And I want to say big thanks to everyone for choosing to support my art. As you know, I'm also an artist, and you've watched today one of my paintings. You can find my paintings on AttractPassion.com, where I create symbolic paintings that help us to focus on what truly matters, and they also carry energy that can support us, especially the one that resonates with you. So see which one speaks to you, and I'm truly grateful for buying prints of my art. I truly appreciate all of you for your support. I love you all. And till next time, one love.